Hey, welcome back to Coach's Corner right here on the Ingram Warriors YouTube channel. And once again, joining me is Athletic Director and Head Coach of the Ingram Warriors. Is going to be Tate Damasco. Tate, welcome back, buddy.
Thank you for being here.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir. Yes, sir. Got to visit with you a little bit last week and everything. We talked about Luling and stuff. So now that that's over with and everything, what is one thing that you learned about that game that can take you into the homecoming game against the Randolph Rohawks?
Anytime you have a game like that, there's a lot of self-reflection. And you get people that want to blame others. Well, obviously my name's at the top. So the first thing I did was self-reflect what we did throughout the course of the week. You know, it's easy to blame kids. It's not a kid problem. You know, Friday night we got out-coached, and we've got to do a better job of putting our kids in a position to be successful. And so we did some self-reflection this weekend, and we've had 2 really good workouts. And so I think the kids are excited about getting to play Friday night, and I know as coaches we're really excited, and we want to get this thing corrected for this community.
The Randolph Rohawks, I mean, they come in, they've had some pretty tight games, like against Blanco and things like that. But, you know, of course, it's Randolph, speed, and more speed.
Yeah.
You know, so, and homecoming night, once again, it's on your home field,
Right.
which is a beautiful thing. So just talk about the defensively slowing them down because they just got that speed that loves to run.
They do, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Ortiz and his staff. You know, Coach West was there for a long time. Coach Ortiz has taken over, and they've just continued to do what Randolph does. And, you know, it's a special deal for us playing Cole and Randolph. And I've talked to my kids about it. You know, when Cole came over here, they had 13 kids whose parents weren't at the game. They were serving our country overseas. And so anytime we get to play Randolph, we have a lot of respect for them and the things that they do and the freedoms they provide, their parents provide for us. So, you know, as far as them offensively, I mean, the quarterback, he can go. And so, you know, we want to try to get him stretched out to where he's running towards the sidelines and not, you know, hitting us right downhill. They do a very good job of false keying and doing some things up front that put you in a bind. And formation-wise, they get you in a place where you've got to make a decision on how you're going to cover.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we like our plan. You know, obviously it's early. It's 2 days in, and anything can adjust. But we like our plan. But, you know, we've got to keep them close to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And we can't let them get out. And so if we let them get out, then, you know, we're going to have some issues. But they do a great job offensively, and so we'll have our hands full.
Coach, I know there's a few that are banged up and everything, but you have realized that you have some depth this year where people are just stepping up. Just talking about utilizing all these players that are coming up, and you know, and just to give you quality minutes so
Sure.
that way you can, you know, have those other guys come back and just play some.
So I think we shoot out 24 kids, and all 24 of those kids contribute a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't have the ones that stand on the sideline don't go in. Everybody's contributing, and you know, when you're looking at a football program, you've got to develop that 80 in the middle. That's where your program really takes off. You know, your top guys are going to be your top guys, but you've got to find the kids that are program kids that we know we can put in and be successful at whatever we ask them to do, and so, you know, we focused a lot on that last off season, and I think it's paid off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do have some bumps and bruises, but we've had some guys go in and do some really good things, and you know, their numbers are going to get called a little more here. And so hopefully they'll just keep getting better and better, and you know, pleasantly surprised with the depth.
One of the things that talk around the hill country is your offensive line. I mean, it has been phenomenal all year long, and even just, you know, late in the games where we're opening up for Sage Canese to be able to throw the ball
Right.
and find his open receivers and stuff down the line. Talk about the pride of the O-line, because that is the talk around the hill country right now.
I got you. Yeah, they've done a wonderful job. Coach Ragsdale's put them in a position to be successful throughout the course of the year, so they've done some really good things. And, you know, last week's probably the first time we really got punched in our mouth in a while. And we didn't like the way we kind of responded, and the kids didn't like the way we responded. And so, you know, we've put a challenge on them this week, and you know, and they've kind of accepted the challenge, and they've had a really good 2 days of work. And you know, the bottom line is they're great kids. You know, there's not a lot of me attitudes. And they all run around together. And you know, about every weekend. One time I see a white car go flying in front of my house, and they're honking the horn, or they come in, and so they're fun to be around too.
Yeah.
And you know how that goes, and so I like hanging around them and talking to them a little bit. Some of those guys that coach skill guys don't like going down there. That's not me. They're always good food topic. Just talking about things like that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of go down there and pick their brain and figure out what's going on.
So the food topic is kind of like, basically in that aggressive way to say, what are you cooking for us?
Yes. What are we eating after the game?
Exactly.
And they have their suggestions, let me tell you.
I bet they do.
So we try to take care of them, but they've been awesome. And they've allowed us to be able to run the ball when we need to run the ball, and they've allowed us to continue drives and keep opponents' offenses off the field, and that's going to be a key to Friday night's game. We've got to limit their possessions, and we need to control the football.
A lot of homecoming activities that are coming up, especially through the week. Got the parade coming up and everything as well, which, is something getting big around here now when it comes to the parade. But, not so much of a distraction, but how are they embracing, not only with the homecoming activities, but also along with the workouts like you've been giving?
They've done great. We really hadn't even talked about it. I brought it up today at the end, talked to them about, we're going to get through tomorrow's practice. I want you to enjoy the parade, have a good time, pep rally, bonfire, and then Thursday morning we need to get locked back in and ready to go. And so it hasn't been a distraction yet, but I do want them. They are high school kids, and they need to enjoy their time.
Yeah.
And they need to experience some of these things. And so we want them to be able to do that. And then Thursday morning we're going to lock back in and get ready to go play a really good Randolph team.
So are you going to be in the parade?
I'm thinking maybe.
You got that sports car, right?
I may be walking.
There you go. Nice. Coach, and especially with this week, there is a lineup of activities with the volleyball and with tennis going on, and even upcoming cross-country meets. Talk about the attitude with the other sports that are going on right now here in Ingram.
Right. So today is Tuesday, and so our volleyball team's playing as we speak in Blanco, but they had a really good week last week. They beat Brady and Florence and got back in this district race, and so tonight's a really big game for them. We'll check on them when we get done here. But this morning I drove over to Bernie to watch our team tennis. I think Lavernia ended up beating us 10-9 or something, and we lost in 5 supersets against the 4A team, and the kids did awesome this morning. They were competing, and so we were hoping we would get past Lavernia. It just didn't work out, but it's unbelievable what those kids do in a 3A school against 4A teams, and so they had a really good year. And cross country just finished our district race, our district cross country meet yesterday, and so now we're transitioning into regionals, and y'all hear a little bit about that here in a little while.
Pretty exciting time.
Yes, sir.
Winter sports is getting to that point. Basketball is going to be coming up. Coach Fierro, trying to get prepared and everything like that. You're halfway through the season right now in football, but you also got to start looking at what's coming up here in the next few weeks. So talk about just a little bit with your athletic program and the basketball program with Coach Fierro's, both of them.
Right. So our girls will start next Monday. They'll get going. I think that's the 17th, and then the boys will start the following Monday. So they'll practice for a week or so, and then they're going to end up having scrimmages. And I'm really excited to see what those two are going to put out there this year. Both extremely hard workers, care about kids, and they picked this place. They wanted to be here, and so that means the world to me. And so we're really excited to see what they got, and we'll get them on this show. Maybe we can get them on it together. Sit you in the middle and put one on the right and one on the left.
We can do that, absolutely. That would be awesome right there. And I noticed that you did finally fix, that Coach Ray Fierro's name is finally fixed in the email on the website.
Yes, I fixed it. And Ray really didn't say anything. It was Jessica. So when Jessica came to me, I made sure we got that fixed quickly.
I told him last year, and he was like, hey, that's probably a good thing. I don't get all that junk mail.
There you go. There you go.
Right. Coach, any final thoughts on coming up with Randolph and homecoming night?
Yeah, I mean, to our community, we really appreciate all the support, and we need to plug girls volleyball plays Comfort at 4:30 here on Friday night, which is going to be a huge game, and then come over and watch the football game. And I think our kids and our football staff want to prove that what happened last Friday night is not us. And we've analyzed, is it the trip? too long? Do we need to cut it off? We've thought about all that, but the good thing is we're back here on Friday night at home. We know the routine, and we're excited to get another opportunity.
A lot of football left.
Yes, sir.
All right. Coach Damasco.
All right, I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Coach Damasco, and we're going to take a little quick break, but when we come back, we're going to also have Coach Damasco right here on the Ingram Warriors YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner right here on the Ingram Warriors YouTube channel. And joining me right now is Coach Melissa Damasco right here, cross-country team. How's it going?
Good. It's
awesome.
Great.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Coach, regionals.
Yes.
Talk about, the cross-country team because, it's been quite a while with excitement about how the cross-country team has been performing, especially this year.
Yes. we started way back in beginning of August, end of July. We've been running, and these kids have been working so hard. We get them up. They get up at 6:15 in the morning before school. They have tons of other things going on. Half of them are involved heavily in other sports and then FFA. And yet they still get up early. They have that commitment, 6:15, and and you're running miles and miles, and that is tough. It takes a lot of strength, stamina, willpower, mental stability to get to do that. And they show up day in and day out. They've been working since August, getting themselves ready, and it all paid off yesterday. So.
And what place you get?
Well, we have our boys qualified for regionals, and they, as a team, they got second place.
All right.
And then we had our first place runner, McCain White, who got first place out of all the varsity boys yesterday.
Nice.
And then we had, of course, Sean Swisher and others qualify for the varsity race, and really they got up there, and it was a good race, and they competed, and it was great to see. And the girls, we've been a little hurt on the girls' side throughout the season. It's been a challenge with them, and they'll be the first ones to tell you. But yet they show up day in and day out. It's still half of them. McKenna Rumbo was placed 8th. We take the top 10, so she made it to regionals, and she's battled, and she's coming off an ACL tear last year.
Yeah.
So that rehab is probably one of the longest. That 9-month rehab. She was cleared. And she plays volleyball too, and she's big into FFA, so she just does it all. And she qualified for regionals, so we couldn't be more proud. But the other girls, Veda Swisher, Daniela Luna, Jesslyn Cruces, they just, they ran their hearts out, and they competed well, and I couldn't be more proud of them. Jaden Reef on the girls' side, Jordan Reef on the boys' side. Frederick Cannon, who actually, half of his time is with tennis and then cross country. So, he was just out. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
Bailey Gordon, those guys, they really competed well. It was fun to watch.
Cross country is like my forte. Back in the days, we ran cross country, and it was, well, I won't say it right now, but it's one of those things. But to run, what does a typical do you give them a sheet of what they need to do and perform, how to perform, and what to run during the week? Or is it something that you just say, this is what I expect?
Yes, so Coach Morales and Coach Pedersen, she's at the middle school, and myself, we put out the workout Sunday evening, get it out there, the week's workout. We're going to do speed work because we have to know how to finish and be tough around the corners and work on the speed. And then we use, to our advantage, we have hills. So a lot of the places we go to are flatter. And regionals is in Lubbock, and we all know the terrain of Lubbock, so it's going to be flatter. So we have the advantage of working the hills. Right. So at least 1 to 2 days a week, we get them on the hills. And then we do interval training where we work the speed and the hills. And then we do distance tempo runs. We do it all, and we mix it in so they have a little bit of everything while they're building up their strength and endurance. So I think with that combination of it's helped us. It's helped us really capitalize on these events that we are running in.
Back in the Tivy days, we had the advantage with Coach Tom Claiborne and Coach Holloman, and then we had Coach Chase, with the long distance. So we advantage hills, was always big for cross country, and then with Coach Chase, it was always about the speed, like you were saying.
Yes.
So when you combine those two, do you find that those your runners are more have more stamina, and also can finish stronger than a lot of the competition?
Yes, and it shows. I mean, Coach Morales really sets us up for some difficult cross country meets. I mean, we went to McNeil 3 weeks ago, and that's the state cross country course, and the teams are really, really, great there. And so he already knows we need to be competing against these good teams to see how, hey, we can compete with them. And I think they buy in when they go to meets like that. And then we hit district where it's smaller, we have less schools, and they're more confident. And I think with that game plan, it really helped us. Yeah. So I love our schedule. I love going to the more difficult ones, and it really prepares you for the future.
One thing about cross country is that, and there's two things about it. One, it's an individual sport. At the same time, you are with a team.
Yes.
So it all hands in hand. So are you finding out that, to build that PRs for those runners, at the same time when they finish, they're already running down the course, cheering those others on?
Yes, absolutely. Because my background is more team sport, volleyball, basketball. That's what I was used to. So I come in with a team outlook. And cross country is very much a team sport. What people don't realize is that you're working with your team to be able to qualify. All the boys qualified as a team. So that's the mentality I go in with this as. And yes, their individual runners are each different in their own way, and we have to tailor workouts to them, but it is a team thing ultimately.
Absolutely.
We want them, you can learn so much from building off that team dynamic and being a good team player. And that's what we bring into the sport. And everybody who coaches it realizes that, but some people may be watching and don't realize, oh, it's more of an individual. It's very much a team sport. And they do. What I love to see, and this happened a couple of meets ago, all of our varsity kids were cheering on the JV, and sometimes they run with them when they are having some trouble finishing, and they all get after it and help each other out. And this group of kids, they inspired me. I mean, they would run their tails off at practice and at meets, and then they go cheer, and then they'd want to do this, and they just want to help each other out. They're just, it's and I don't just say that lightly, they're such a cool group, all of them together. I thoroughly enjoyed this entire season, and it's not over yet, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
that's
awesome. The kids made it all worthwhile.
When you get to the regionals, that's going to be at...
Regionals in Lubbock. Because we're in Region 1,
okay,
which we used to be in Region 4.
Which would be like UTSA.
And that they would go to Corpus. So now they're used to, it's humidity beach. Now we're going to, dry. Who knows what the wind is going to be like. So it's going to be a little bit different. But this will be a new place.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what is the one thing that you have learned about your cross-country team from the very beginning in August up to yesterday?
They just don't give up. They show up, they do the workouts, and some of the time I'm standing there, I'm like, I wouldn't want to be doing what they're doing right now. Nice. But they do it, and they do it with pride, and they don't give up, and they show up day in and day out, and that's why they are successful. That's what it takes. If you want to be good, you show up, you work hard, you don't complain. You do what the coaches tell you, because Coach Morales does an excellent job, and so does Coach Pedersen, and they do just that. And they are really a class act group. I love this group. Yes. Before you go to regionals, and that's this week, the community. What can the community do to help support your cross country team? I think just I know it is so far away, so it's a little difficult to get fans up there, but I think just encouragement, just cheering them on and keeping them going, and just building up their confidence, because that's what Coach Morales did. Like I said, he gave us some difficult meets, so now that we're at a difficult meet, they're ready. So they just need to keep that confidence going, and I know the community will step up and do a great job with that. Maybe text messages, or maybe shouting it out on YouTube or
there
something like that. There you go. Yes. Perfect. Yes, that would be great. Mm-hmm.
So with the district meet, you have some people that placed, and so just go give them a shout out. Talk about who did what, placing, and then of course just a shout out to your team. I would be happy to. Starting with the varsity boys, first place was McCain White. Fifth place is Sean Swisher.
Our senior, Frederick Cannon, was 7th place. 10th place, Juan Perez Perez. 16th was Jordan Reef, and 18th was Bailey Gordon. So that's our varsity boys. Varsity girls, 7th place was McKenna Rumbo, so she qualified. And all of our varsity boys qualified as well. 24th was Veda Swisher, 30th was Daniela Luna, 39th was Jaden Reef, 40th was Jesslyn Crucis, and 41st place was Caddy Olson. JV boys, Luke Rossi, he did amazing.
That's a running name right there.
He's a runner. Yes, he is definitely. He did an amazing job. He was first place for our JV boys. Second place, our senior Dason Burdick. He ran his heart out. Luis Gutierrez, another senior, was 4th place. Brody Van Aker was 10th, and then Sam Hune. Sorry Sam, I might mispronounce your last name, but you were 13th. And then our JV girls, we had 2. Miss Daniela Guevara was 1st place, and 7th was Jasmine Trujillo.
So when you go to the regionals, of course, with the boys, you got to take your top 7 that goes, and that's who places, and goes from there. One thing about your team, again, it's just with the regionals and stuff. What is the lead up to this week's regional?
In terms of like our workout, yes, yeah, we're giving them some time off, a couple of days just to rest and relax after this last meet. Rest their legs, because we've got about a week, almost 2 weeks, a week and a half before regionals. So we'll start our first morning practice, get back on those hills and speed work on Thursday, Friday as well, and then we'll kick it into gear next week with our same workout routine and get them ready for Lubbock on the 24th.
Awesome.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach Damasco, appreciate you, and we
welcome.
look forward to talking to you again, and especially when they have those state qualifiers.
Yes, that's what we're hoping for.
There you go. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Coach
Yes.
Melissa Damasco of the Ingram Warriors, cross country, and does it all. She can still outplay Tate in volleyball.
Oh,
Just saying.
Any day.
There you go. All right, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll have Coach Ragsdale and that O-line, baby, right here on the Ingram Warriors YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner right here on the Ingram Warriors YouTube channel. Now we are talking with Coach Ragsdale, the O-line coach, what everybody is talking about in the Hill Country, the Ingram O-line. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I gotta know, what are you feeding the boys and what are you doing for workout? Because right now the talk of the town is how the O-line is opening up holes for semis to run through, and that is an old Madden thing. So, but it's the truth.
No, they've done a great job, and honestly, our kids just bought into what we did in the off-season program. They bought into becoming technicians. I think that's something, I've been here for 3 years, and that's kind of what we've been selling them as a program, is to buy into the techniques, become technicians, become perfect at every tiny little part of what you do. And our kids have done a great job of buying into our schemes and buying into what Coach Damasco has brought into Ingram. And outside of that, I just kind of stand back and stay out of the way. Try not to get run over. But no, they do a great job, and they work really hard at it.
I mean, like with your plays, sometimes there's a book, sometimes there's just a few. But they got to know exactly what position, when to pull, how to, when it's going to be pistol, shotgun, anything like that. But they got to know their position. How much time do you spend on that to make sure that those guys are getting the job done?
Well, we spend a great deal of time talking about schemes and talking about football, and teaching the kids different fronts. So as we've gone through the season and we see this front one week and this front another week and this front another week. Well, now we're at a point in the season where they've pretty much seen it all.
Yeah.
And they're doing a really good job of calling out fronts and recognizing defenses, what alignments they have and what techniques and calls we need to get into to be able to be successful against that front. But we do spend quite a bit of time, Monday and Tuesday, teaching fronts, and these are the little differences between what we saw last week and what we're seeing this week, and the kids do a great job of studying. They study a ton of film. I send them a Bible. I got to play a little book that we send the linemen. I tell them, you study your Bible every night.
Yeah.
Both of them, the Holy Bible and your O-line Bible. So they do a great job of putting in the extra work outside of here. So it makes my job pretty easy.
You know, a lot of times some of your O-line has to turn around and then right back on defense. Have you kind of noticed that on defensive side, they're still kind of using some of your offensive schemes?
Yeah, Coach Brad Keen and I work really closely together. You know, he's a great offensive line mind in his own right, and he's come in here and been the D-line coach. And we spend a great deal of time talking about how can we incorporate what we're doing defensively and what we're using offensively, you know, and crossing over different types of techniques and understanding this is what great defenses try to do to you as an offensive lineman. So let's have a plan for that.
Yeah.
You know, and the better our kids have become defensively, I think it's really helped us on the offensive side of understanding how to defeat certain types of techniques. So it's been a super beneficial deal for us to have the type of staff we have and kind of play off of each other.
What's a typical day in the weight room look like for your O-line?
Typical day in the weight room, they do what Coach Joel Hinton tells them to do. But no, they do a great job. They really work hard. We went in and we do a lot of flexibility work, do a lot of injury prevention stuff. We really hammer shoulders this time of year. You know, maintaining strength throughout the season is key for an alignment. They also eat a lot to maintain their weight. But no, they get after it. But we do a ton of squats and a ton of power clean. You know, and we really work on our shoulders and our flexibility in the lower half so that we can maintain those techniques that we need.
You know, throughout the year, we see a lot of schools, and we have seen where the O-line is not disciplined, especially when, like, say, let's just, a quarterback is rolling out, or he might tuck and run, or he might just take those little few extra seconds to throw the ball. Your O-line has, for the most part, been a disciplined O-line and not having illegal men downfield. How much of that, you know, comes back on your training, but also on their mindset as well to really read and think?
Well, we really pound in the pass protection to keeping our quarterback clean. I mean, that's something we take a great deal of pride in. So if I got to protect for 3 seconds or 7 seconds, we're going to get in there, we're going to get the job done in the pass protection. You know, and our kids do a great job of finding work. So when that quarterback moves and the defense reacts to that, we're going to go find bodies and put bodies on bodies and do our best to keep our quarterback clean. You know, I think that's been key for us all year. It's just taking pride in the fact that, you know, our success offensively is going to depend on your offensive line. You know, we have great skill players here, and we have great coaches that coach our skill players, but our offensive line is taking a great deal of pride in the fact that our success offensively is in a large part dependent on what we do on each and every play.
You know, there's a few screen passes that I just witnessed you guys do, and it was like to perfection. I mean, it's just the way that they come up, hold, wait, and then it's like boom, and already blocking up and stuff like that, discipline-wise. Just with something like that, is something you work on quite a bit, or is that something you just say, hey, we're just going to try it out and go?
Well, no, we hit a screen period pretty much every week. We hit a 5-minute screen period on Wednesdays, and, you know, we introduced those very early in the year. We hit that screen package, and that's part of our game plan and discussion. You know, can we screen them? You know, can we get our screens off? Are they going to be effective?
Yeah.
You know, and then our kids are committed. Our linemen like it. They like to get out and block little skinny guys instead of those great big tush hogs they got up in the front. So anytime we can get out and take a shot on a safety, those kids get off on that. We really like that.
You have the Rohawks coming in from Randolph, homecoming night, a lot of speed, especially on the ends. They will blitz up the middle, you know, just different things like that. Defensively, you know, for your offense, talk about just preparing for Randolph.
You know, one of the things we've been emphasizing is Randolph's defense is built for speed. They're fast at every position. They don't have a slow guy on the field. And so, you know, we've talked about some different technique things that we need to do and getting off and in and out of our double teams a little quicker than we normally would. We talked about setting a little more depth in the pass protection, take care of that speed off the edge, make them run a bigger loop to get to the quarterback. And you know, our kids for 2 days have done a really great job, and I'm pretty pleased with the preparation we've had. You know, we'll see how tomorrow goes, but Monday and Tuesday have gone really, really well, and our kids have embraced, like Coach Damasco alluded to earlier, is they've embraced it's homecoming, but they've been really locked in on the job that we have to do. I mean, at the end of the day, homecoming's all about 7 o'clock on Friday night. Yeah. So I think our kids will be ready to play, and they've had a good week of preparation.
You know, Coach, what does it mean to you to be the talk of the hill country that has something that hasn't happened in a long time about Ingram's O-line? because I hear it a lot. You know, it's like, what are they feeding them over there in Ingram? Well, we know it's Tate's house, but we're just.
it means a ton. It means a ton. I mean, we all take our jobs very personally. You know, these are my guys, and they're my guys whether they're in the school building or down at the mini mart or at my house or at Tate's house. I mean, these are my guys, and it means a great deal that people are talking about them and people are recognizing the hard work and the effort that they've put in to make a name for Ingram football and Ingram athletics and to put Ingram on the map a little bit. And that, you know, that's our goal, and that's where we're headed, and that's what we've been talking about, you know, for 2.5 years, and that's what we want to do. So I take great pride in that, and I'm super thankful for the opportunity to coach a group of kids like we have. I mean, and they bought in and they put in a ton of great work, and they're great role models. They're great kids, you know, and they work super hard, and they'll do whatever you ask them to do, and above all of that, they're good people, and I think that's more than anything. You know, they're going to be successful human beings as they leave this place, and I take pride in that as well. We take great pride in that as well.
Coach, do you have a nickname for your offensive line?
Well, I've had several over the years. You know, I was at Mason for a long time, and we brought in and started the Fat Boys up there. But, you know, you can't copy that. No. This isn't Mason, and this is a different community, and our kids kind of take pride. We break it out on Fridays. We go out and walk the field on Fridays, and we just break it out on fatties, and you know, they take pride in being fatties, you know, and we're the guys that take contact so the little guys don't have to, and you know, they've kind of jumped on board with that, and you know, they respond. If I walked in there and say, hey, fatties, come on, they know exactly who I'm talking about. So yeah, we kind of do have a nickname, but they get behind it.
So can I get a Ingram shirt that says fatties on it?
We need to get some
There
fatty
you
t-shirts.
go, that'll be awesome.
I'll see what we can do about that.
Nice. Coach, I appreciate it. I know your stomach is sucking up against your backbone right now. You're hungry, but
we're good. We're good. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and good luck and let the fatties do what they got to do.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Nice, Coach Ragsdale of the Ingram Warriors O-line, talk of the Hill Country at this moment. All right, we want to appreciate everybody tuning in to the Ingram Warriors YouTube channel. Until the next time on the Coach's Corner, we out.